Right, Martijn, do you think we're ready to begin?
Yes, I am totally ready.
Excellent. So I suppose just a little explanation. The screen that you see waiting for you here is happens to be BBC correspondent Stephen Roseberg. He was using the mobile Viewpoint Newsgathering app during, I think, the first COVID lockdown, I think bringing a little bit of solace and humility and community to many people who were following his piano playing. So what we'll do today, one moment. Yes, so I think now you can see what we're doing. I suppose a little explanation of what we're doing today. Today we're coming to you for Vislink, from our satellite proving balcony at the Vislink office in the UK, and we are setting up a broadcast system here using our Starlink satellite link. I wonder, Mark, whether you can focus on where we are, and somewhere over there in the distance is our Starlink satellite antenna. And so today from the UK, we are broadcasting to you over that IP satellite link. Thank you, Mark. And fine, where are you? You could be anywhere.
Yeah, I can be actually anywhere, and I'm actually in a shared office building right now, and I don't want to rely on the internet connection within this office building. So I took an Agile Ultralink with me, based on SIM cards, and I use the mobile connections and together with the Wi-Fi to provide a data hotspot to my laptop, which I use for Zoom. But I can be basically anywhere. So in the background you see the bridge in New York. So I could actually be next to the bridge. I can be anywhere because I have a mobile device with me with connectivity via SIM cards.
Fabulous, which of course is what many people rely on for news gathering, with live or recording or doing store and forward. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the webinar today. So I'm just going to share with you on the screen and say thank you to Mark for his camera work just now. And so today we are talking about mobile news gathering in times of crisis. And so that's myself. I'm David Edwards. I'm the 5G and live production manager, product manager at Vislink and Mobile Viewpoint. And Martijn, tell us about you.
Yeah, my name is Martin, and I'm sales manager within Mobile Viewpoint, and these days also for the Vislink products.
Excellent. So in terms of news gathering times of crisis, I don't know about you, but what I'm seeing is that global events seem to be becoming larger and more impactful, and that in those sorts of situations, what I'm certainly experiencing is the public are seeking information about those events, and not just from broadcast news, but from more diverse news sources as well. But we're certainly seeing over the past couple of years to see news events becoming larger and larger things. And we're also seeing that regional issues seem to be becoming more global issues as well. We've of course all lived through the recent COVID-19 pandemic, and we've seen how quickly those issues have grown and moved from a regional situation to a very much a global situation. And that's, of course, follows also the way information flows these days, much more globally, we're much more globally connected. And we could speculate that there is some sort of connection between all of those things. And of course, we're seeing global crises move much faster, it seems. You know, we've seen how events can move in terms of Ukraine from diplomatic events to reporting from bunkers in safety within Ukraine in a matter of days. And those appalling and upsetting scenes, you know, have very much dominated news stories for the past month now. And so that's what we're seeing. We're seeing bigger stories, we're being faster moving stories, stories that are going from local events to national events. Some good stories and some very bad stories. And so what do people do in these times of crisis? What does the public do? They seem to be seeking what they perceive as truth and information, and they're gathering that information from a very diverse set of mediums these days, whether that is broadcast news, whether that's internet, web news, or whether that's other social media platforms such as Twitter or YouTube. And in terms of delivering these news stories to the public, then Vislink and Mobile Viewpoint, we have our part to play in that. And so in terms of helping to make that possible, we're enabling, we hope, broadcasters and news gathering communities to collect that information better and faster and simpler with the tools that we can provide to people and put at their disposal. So today, we just wanted to talk about some of the tools that we can provide into the market, whether it is bonded cellular devices, whether those be camera mount devices or backpack mounted devices. I know you've got a backpack with you, Martijn, and whether those are video enabled devices or purely data devices. But let's talk about some of the issues that exist in the market. So we're seeing a demand for an increased use of video. And we know, of course, that video takes up a lot of bandwidth. And there are things that we can do to reduce the amount of bandwidth that our video devices are consuming on the transmission medium that we might choose. And HEVC is playing a part in that, isn't it, Martijn?
Yeah. Our devices can do by default H.264 and H.265 encoding. And the good thing about H.265 encoding is that, of course, you can save a lot of data, which can go up to 40%. And the difference between H.264 and H.265 is basically that with H.265, the different algorithms compare 2 frames at the same time, and basically share the information which was in the previous frame to the other frame, which saves you a lot of encoding and data to transmit to the other side. And that's extremely beneficial in our devices.
Potentially up to 50% saving in bit rate with HEVC compression, isn't there? And we know that, of course, bit rate costs money to operate. If you're particularly going over a bonded cellular link, then you want to conserve the subscriptions to your SIMs, don't you?
Yeah, and based on all these technologies, we can still provide a very high quality of video for your TV station.
Absolutely. So it's not just cellular networks that we can provide, but in terms of cellular connectivity, we can bond across quite a large number of modems, a large number of SIMs, can't we, Martijn? Can you explain what the benefits of that might be?
Yeah, we can use multiple IP networks, and in the device, on the picture, it's an Agile Ultra Link. It's the same as I have here next to me. It can bond 10 connections in total, which can be 8 built-in modems. So you can use 8 SIM cards of different providers to bond all together for a stable internet connection. But we can also combine it with LAN and Wi-Fi. So if you are somewhere in a hotel or an indoor area and you can make use of a fixed internet connection, you can also connect it to our device. You can connect to the Wi-Fi. And you can bond all those connections together to one stable internet connection. And you can also prioritize those settings. So if you have, for example, some very expensive SIM cards you don't want to use as one of the first, you can select them as a lower priority. And the cheaper ones, or the LAN or the free Wi-Fi, you can select as the higher ones to save some costs.
Excellent. And so we can give connectivity across both cellular or Wi-Fi or cabled internet, Ethernet connectivity, whichever is available, or whichever is most reliable or potentially cheapest.
Yep.
And in terms of getting that connection over the cellular network, obviously we have antennas built into our units, whether it's a base link or ultra link here, but we can also provide an external antenna as well, can't we, Martin? Can you explain what the benefits of that might be?
Yeah. By default, we provide our devices with small swivel antennas. Those are also underneath this small black cover in this device to keep it all very small and compact. But we can also work with a bigger dome antenna. That's the one you see on the picture in the slide. You can connect it with SMA connectors to the device, and as you can see here, you are really on top of all the people. But it's also extremely useful if you use it on a vehicle, such as a motorbike, a car, so you can put the encoder inside and the antenna outside, or in a helicopter, for example. So it gives you a lot of benefits in a lot of different use cases.
And if you're in an area where there is a large number of people, I'm thinking potentially, I don't know, reporting outside a stadium where there might be a large gathering of people, or potentially a public demonstration, then you might be able to use that antenna to your advantage as well, might you, Martin? Yeah,
so you are always a higher reception because the antenna is on top of everybody. So we have seen use cases that people locate the encoder downside and maybe the antenna somewhere on top of a roof of a small building, because we can provide it by default with a cable of 2 meters, but we can also do it with a cable of 5 or 10 meters.
So it enables you to get a better cellular network coverage than perhaps people using their own mobile phones.
Yep.
Now, if we're doing two-way interviews like you and I are over Starlink today, then there's delay issues to consider, aren't there, as well, Martin, in order to give a seamless conversation?
Yeah, we always have to interface with the delay created by the encoder and the mobile networks. But because of the quality of those mobile networks will become better every day, we can make this delay as low as possible. So we can go almost around half a second these days from encoder to decoder. And this is extremely useful if you do two-way interviews, like you see here on the picture. You want to keep the delay as low as possible. And that's possible with our devices.
Very good. And in terms of ensuring that you get the story through, and also ensuring that you get the best possible video quality with the bandwidth available to you, we have some rate adaptive encoding technology which aids that. Can you explain that a little bit, Martin?
Yeah, it's not all about bonding the networks together. There's a lot of smart technology inside of the device. So let's say you want to stream a video feed in 8 Mbit, which is quite high quality. But there's only 2 Mbit available because you're on a very crowded event. Everybody's using the same network, or you are on an extremely remote location. The system automatically detects how much bandwidth there is available. So if there's only 2 Mbit available, we don't try to send at 8 Mbit because you like it. We can automatically adjust the bandwidth to what's available because we detect it up front. So if there's 2 available, you start transmitting in 2 Mbit. And as soon as there's more bandwidth available again, we can automatically adjust again to what's available. So we don't get any black frames in the video. We just reduce the bitrate a little bit to keep on working with a smooth video.
And then it's not just the rate adaptation within the encoding. We also apply just enough error correction and repeat requests to get the data across that link as well, so, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. There's indeed more technology inside of the box. So in case we miss several video packages, we can do a retransmission to make sure that there's a complete video in the end on the decoder side or on the social media side.
So I said to you at the beginning that from the UK, we're coming to you over a Starlink satellite dish today. So my configuration, I'm using a mobile viewpoint Ultralink Air, and I'm using its Wi-Fi connectivity to connect up to the Starlink system that I've got deployed in the ground here. And so going over satellite systems, it's not just as simple as an IP connection. You have to account for various things that are special to satellite connectivity, don't you, Martin?
Yeah, we can connect our devices also to any satellite connection. So on the side of the device, there are two Ethernet ports. One is basically for ingoing connectivity, and the other one is for outgoing. So I'm using the outgoing connection right now for my laptop. So I use it as a LAN hotspot. But you can also connect a Starlink device like David is doing right now. But you can also use a KA set, for example. And with those satellite connections, you always work with a longer delay. And we have a special license created for this to make the system work with this longer delay. So you can use the Starlink, for example, just as the connectivity for the connectivity, and the encoder as the encoder. But we can also use the built-in modems as a backup solution. So in case the Starlink fails or your KA set fails for any reason, we seamlessly can go over to our built-in modems.
And who knows, we might find that Starlink allow roaming at some point in the future. We'll just have to wait and see. And so in terms of cellular connectivity, we now, as 5G cellular networks start to roll out, we've had 5G connectivity within our systems for a little while, haven't we? And actually, just at the beginning of the year, we announced a new 5G enabled device too for the Vislink. Can you explain what the benefits of 5G connectivity might be, Martijn?
Yeah, we can provide our devices these days with 5G modems. So we see that several customers purchase their new device with, let's say, 6 4G modems and 2 5G modems to be prepared for the future. And the benefits of 5G will be that you have a much more bandwidth available. So it's easier to send over high quality video over these bonded networks. But they will release the 5G networks in different stages. And we are now really in the beginning of those stages. So it will take some time before we can experience the real benefits of the 5G network. But yeah, that's all ongoing, and we are ready for these new developments.
Very much worldwide, aren't we, Martijn? Because there are different frequency allocations in different regions around the world, but our systems are enabled for 5G on a global basis, aren't they?
Yeah, the modems we use are worldwide, have worldwide coverage, so they can connect to all the frequencies worldwide. So if you buy your device for use in the United States and you have to go to Beijing for the Olympic Games, for example, you can still use the same device without replacing the modems. So you can travel around with one device all over the world.
Excellent. It's really good news. And if we're talking about connectivity, then many journalists may need to access their in-house connectivity, all of the data services that come from their organization. And so these bonded cellular devices can also act as a data bridge as well, can't you? So you can get all of your office connectivity that you would normally expect via any other IP connected path.
Yeah, correct. So what I'm using on the device next to me, it's basically an advanced video encoder. So you can use it for live video streaming, but you can also use the modems at the same time to create a data hotspot. That's what I'm doing right now. But we also have clients that don't need this video encoder at all. So we also have the data link device. That's the box you see here on the slide. It's basically the same casing as the video encoder, but without the built-in video encoder. And it will only provide you a data hotspot wherever you are. So you just put in the SIM cards and you can use it as a data hotspot.
So whether you need video or whether you need just data, there's potential there for a solution.
Yep.
And if we're thinking about data connectivity, then the devices enable you to create a bridge to any third-party IP-connected device as well, which might actually help connectivity and management of devices in the field, mightn't it?
Yeah, correct. So we can connect third-party devices such as PTZ cameras or switching panels to our encoders over IP. And if you are in the studio site, you can basically remotely control those third-party devices via our web-based platform. So if you have a switching panel or a PTZ camera connected to our system, you can move it around. So you can pan, tilt, and zoom it, but you can also change the camera settings remotely. And these are all benefits of the connectivity.
So if you have a journalist whose expertise is in conveying the news that journalist doesn't have to be a true IT expert himself. You can leave that to the people back at the broadcast center to manage all of those third-party connected devices. Good news. And so sometimes that content, sometimes you broadcast live, sometimes you may want to, you may need to transmit that device at a later time, mightn't you as well, Martin? So we have the capability for store and forward within our units. Can you explain how that's useful and when you might actually?
Yeah, so we can do a live transmission with our devices. That means basically sending over the live content from the remote location to the studio. But sometimes you don't have to do it live, or there's no internet connection at all. And you can use the store and forward functionality. So you can basically do a live transmission, you store the content live on the device. And once you are back in the hotel or you are in an area, you do have internet connection, you can send over the complete file to our web-based platform, and you can play it out as it was live. But we also have another functionality that's the local recording next to the live functionality. So you can do a live transmission in an area where there's not enough bandwidth at that moment. So let's say you stream at 2 Mbit for the live stream, but you can store it at the same time in a much higher bit rate, let's say 10 Mbit or 15 Mbit. So you always have the high quality content stored on the device, which you can use later on. So
you can get the story out when you need to get the story out, and you have that same content available for use later at a higher quality, if that's the situation you find yourself in.
Yeah,
good. Now, something slightly different here. I think we are now thinking in terms of remote bureaus or interviews with people who might want to set up something that looks more like a semi-permanent studio for themselves. And this was something that became really quite useful during COVID for various journalists who were at home and reporting from home. There's a fully integrated, I suppose it's a studio in a box, studio production system in a box. Martin, can you explain what all of the various components are there? I can certainly see a camera and a screen. Can you explain what those devices are and what connectivity capability there is there?
Yeah, the Trolley Live is an all-in-one solution. So as you can see here on the picture, it's got a PTZ camera, a touchscreen, but it also got an encoder built in and built-in modems and an audio device. So it's got basically everything for a live video transmission. And the good thing about the Trolley Live is that it can also provide connectivity. So during COVID, we experienced that the TV channels wanted to do some interview setups from doctors and let them explain about their opinion about COVID. We experienced that most of those doctors don't have a very good internet connection at home. So they were not able to do a live video transmission from these locations. And thanks to the Trolley Live, even the doctors without any technical knowledge were able to do a live video transmission thanks to our device. So they could open up the device. It was completely configured in the studio. So the settings of the SIM cards were filled in. So the doctor only need to turn on the device and he was ready to go live. And the camera settings could be remotely controlled from the studio side. So you could really create the right shot from the studio side.
So all the key engineering skills back at the broadcast center, and the presenter really just has to turn up and say what he needs to say. And it's a quite a significant step up from just a webcam and Zoom, isn't it, Martin, in terms of quality?
This provides, of course, a very high quality video image because it's a professional camera, and you make use of multiple bonded networks, so not just a Wi-Fi network on your office, but multiple high quality networks. So this is really made for high quality video streaming. And this was actually also being used by Discovery and Eurosport during the Olympic Games for transmission to their TV channels.
Absolutely, and that's enabled them to give a two-way interview, and for the athletes to get a visual prompt from the broadcast studio, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So in this sheet on the background, you see actually a shot from discovery during the Olympics. So on the left side you see the presenter, and on the right side you see the athlete in Beijing. And the device on the right side, the trolley live, was actually located in Beijing. And the playout and the Starlink Mini were located in the studio site in Europe. And thanks to this setup, we could really send a video return signal back to the athlete in the athlete's village. So they could really have a two-way communication, a two-way interview, thanks to our devices.
Really useful. And sometimes, of course, you go equipped to a news story with a broadcast camera and a cellular encoder, but you're not always in that position, are you, Martijn? And so we have the ability to contribute video into the production system through an iPhone app, don't we?
Yeah, we also have an iPhone app, so you can make use of the connectivity of the application, which can be a SIM card, but also Wi-Fi. And you make use of the built-in camera. So you basically have an encoder and a camera in your pocket to make a live transmission wherever you are. And the good thing about the app is that everybody is using a mobile phone these days. So everybody's wearing it all day with him. So if you need to go live, you can always go live without having a cameraman with a real camera next to you.
So you have the ability for, and the capability for conveying that immediacy that you may well need in today's world.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we've talked about a lot there about ground-based journalism and covering the news on the ground. That's not, of course, the only way that news is covered. And for many years now, we've seen the power and the capability that aerial footage provides. And so as a new release from Vislink, as a OFDM transmission system, just recently we launched the AeroLink product that you see here. And in terms of news gathering stories, that gives broadcasters the ability to convey content from an airborne position at very high quality from range, really. And so it's not just those camera-based systems. Vislink has the capability to give you the news from the air as well. Now, I think in this fast-moving world we're in and situations that can change in an instant, we feel the need to be able to support our customers in the best way we can. Can you explain, Martijn, how we provide that reactive support and the capabilities that we have for our customers?
Yeah, we have a 24/7 support department, which is available via telephone, email, ticket service, knowledge base, in a lot of different ways. But most important thing is to get support, make sure that you have connectivity with your device. So as long as you have connectivity with your device, we can log in remotely in your device and try to help you wherever you are. So if you have any questions, and we do have access to your device, yeah, we can support you wherever you are.
And in terms of the various ways that we can help customers with units, of course, there's always the traditional sales route, but we can, in certain situations, we can rent units out for immediate use, and we have the ability to provide SIM services as well, Martijn, don't we, in various geographies around the world?
Yeah, yeah, we can provide rental units, so the device itself, but also SIM cards. So we can provide SIM cards via our local partners, but we can also provide roaming cards, which you can use worldwide. We can provide SIM cards for special events, such as the Olympic Games. We can provide SIM cards for longer term rentals. So just let us know what you need and we can find the right solution.
And specifically for our US friends, we offer a service in that region called Vislink Connect, which provides a total leased solution there where you can lease the encoder and SIM connectivity as part of a monthly payment. And some of our customers are finding that that's a very affordable way of getting on air quickly and managing their costs as an OPEX-based sale, which of course is a different argument for many customers' budgets and sometimes a much easier thing to approve within organizations. So I think that's quite a lot of what we wanted to talk about today. Perhaps this is an opportunity for you to ask questions and Martijn and myself, we could be your experts and deal with any questions you have. So I think there's a Q&A text box that you can use. You may now want to type those questions in, and we can give you the opportunity to answer any questions for you. So I wonder if any questions have come in. I'm just going to sort of squint at my screen and see if I can read that information.
We already have 3 questions.
That's really, really good. What questions have we got?
The first one, is the Starlink locked to a location? Can it be mobile?
Okay, so Starlink is, at the moment, as we understand it, is a geo-locked device. It certainly is with the unit that I've got. We have heard rumors that might change at some point in the future, but certainly if you are going to be using it within a certain geographical location, it has the ability to provide you with what is rapidly becoming a global communication tool on top of all of the other ways that you can access the internet, whether that's over the cellular connectivity or the Wi-Fi, or however your IP connectivity may be provided to your location. So at the moment it is geo-locked, but we hear that may change.
Is there any additional cost for data link hotspot license? No, you basically purchase a device, that's the hardware. You can pay for support, so in case you need support from our side, you can pay an additional fee, but that's something separate to the data link hotspot license. So the data link is including the hotspot license.
Right there. I've got another question here, which is, why would I use a local connection instead of only internal modems? Martijn, I think you explained that you can make some good choices on cost, on bandwidth, and on reliability of that connection. Can you explain a little bit more about some of those balances that you may choose to make?
Yeah. The good thing about internal modems, of course, is that you always have your internet connection with you, like I have with me right now. So you don't have to rely on a local internet connection, on a local LAN connection or a Wi-Fi connection. But if you do have it available, it is most of the time free. So if you do a press conference, for example, from an hotel, just connect the LAN connection or the Wi-Fi connection to our devices. You can set it as priority number 1, for example. So the system will first try to use these networks. And in case it fails or it's not available, we automatically move over to the internal networks. But it can save some cost. So if you can make use of an internal network, it saves you cost on using data on the SIM cards.
Excellent. That's very clear. I think I saw a question about AeroLink. Was there one more time there on AeroLink?
Yeah. Will you have additional info on the use of AeroLink at NAB? Now, we are available
so the
at
answer
NAB.
there is yes, we will be at NAB, and AeroLink will be there at the show as one of our brand new product launches. So yes, if you are there coming to NAB, we can talk some more about it there. I believe there's also a video about it on the Vislink YouTube channel, which you may want to look at, but certainly be more than happy to explain about that product in detail at NAB or at any time. You can contact us and we can talk to you individually over any of these communication methods. So certainly more about AeroLink at NAB.
Do I need to have a different modem per region in the world? That's a good question. The previous devices, so the older devices, they did could not connect to all the frequencies worldwide, but that's quite a while ago. And these days we basically provided with modems worldwide connectivity, so you can connect with all the frequencies worldwide. So to answer the question, no, you don't need to have a different modem per region in the world.
And there was a very similar question about 5G as well, wasn't there, Martijn?
Yeah, which frequencies can you use
with your 5G modem?
Yeah, so the 5G modems we use have worldwide connectivity. So you don't need a different modem per region in the world. So just one modem for worldwide usage.
Okay. Oh, here's an interesting question. What's the difference between Baselink and Ultralink Air devices, and how might I choose one over the other, Martijn? You explain a little bit about those two devices.
Yeah, the first difference is that the Baselink is a basic device made for live streaming with 4 or 6 built-in modems, and it has a smaller touchscreen compared to the touchscreen you see here. This is the Ultralink with 8 built-in modems, and it has also much more features, or more features, not much more, like store forward, more storage. We can provide it with multiple SDI inputs. It has a bigger touchscreen, so there are some differences which, could depend on your use case. So just let us know what kind of a use case you have, and we can advise you the right product.
So it's about us helping you to find the right unit for yourself, but there's a choice there depending on what your needs are. Question about new list prices. I suppose the thing to talk about in terms of pricing is, Ati, if you want to send us an email, then we can talk to you about pricing. I think that's the easiest way to do it, because that's the way we prefer to do it. Why would I choose a mobile viewpoint system over other manufacturers, Martijn? I think we say that there are a number of useful differences between a mobile viewpoint device and other people in the market. Do you want to explain a bit, maybe some of the differences in connectivity, in build quality and robustness, and other capabilities we might have?
Yeah, it depends a bit, of course, on the use case and also on the type of product you are looking for. So there are many differences between us and other manufacturers. But we always listen a lot to our clients. So we visit our clients a lot, if it's as soon as it's possible again. We like to hear their feedback, which we basically put back in our devices. So our devices are ruggedized, big touch screens. We have V-mounts on the front and on the back. We can provide it with V-mounts, but also gold mount. So all kind of nice features based on the customer request, for example. You can see back in our devices. We have multi-camera devices, devices to control your cameras. So for a lot of different use cases, we have different devices. And there's also a lot of clever technology inside of our devices, which makes us a very nice company to work with.
Very, very good reasons.
And of course, you must like us.
You must like us, yes. What has been the most popular product used in news gathering in Ukraine? I think the first thing to say is that we know that a lot of the news organizations there want to keep a certain amount of discretion in terms of what they're doing out there in order to keep their news staff safe. So perhaps we shouldn't say too much about what is being used out there at the moment, but certainly there are mobile or viewpoint devices in use in that region at the moment. Is it possible to operate the Starlink antenna with rechargeable batteries? I see. So this, again, I suppose is a little bit about Starlink, which is not a mobile viewpoint system, of course, but the Starlink systems that I've seen are AC power operated, and I'm sure there are battery solutions that you could deploy to make that work. Is there a fully working app for the iPhone now? So Martijn, we do have people who are using our iPhone app, don't we? We showed one right at the beginning. Yeah,
so we have an iOS app, so you can download it via the App Store. You do need to have a license, but if you contact us, you can get a license to use the iOS app.
And I also see what's the difference between a mobile viewpoint system and a wireless camera systems. So both of these systems, they provide the ability to set the camera free of wires, to have that RF connectivity and the ability to effectively go anywhere. The mobile viewpoint systems are centered around bonded cellular technology, and the Vislink wireless camera systems are centered around a private microwave network. I think what that means is, in reality, is that in order to build that, you would choose to build that private network system around sports and public entertainment events. And those Vislink systems are targeted at highest quality, guaranteed picture quality, which are all around covering major sports and music events. Whereas bondedcellular devices, they have found their initial growth in news, but that is also now expanding into sports and entertainment as well. We think of reporting outside of a sports event, but Martijn, we've also seen these devices being deployed in things such as marathons, haven't we? Where you roam a city.
Yeah, they are deployed in a lot of different locations and events. But we indeed do a lot of sport events, such as the marathons. We did the marathon in New York, in London, Singapore. But it's also been used for cycling events through Belgium, for example. So we did the Tour de Flanders, which is quite a famous event there. It's always in the beginning of the season. We do motorsport events, all kind of events are possible.
So we're starting to see these two workflows come together, I think, more and more. Certainly during some of the marathons, some of the broadcast production organizations were using a Vislink wireless camera system at the start and finish, and a mobile viewpoint bonded system during the race as it went out more amongst the city. And so we're now moving both the Vislink and the mobile viewpoint workflows together. So you have an interoperability and a common workflow in that. So there is a distinct blurring between the applications, but also various natural home places where you might find a Vislink system or a mobile viewpoint system. We have any more questions? We showed a fully integrated interview solution. Is that portable? I think that was probably talking about the Trolley Live products, the interview in the box solution, Martijn. Do you want to maybe review some of the points about that?
Yeah, no, to answer the question, that's portable indeed. It's a small box with a camera built in, an encoder, and a touchscreen, and an audio device. And it's made for portable use, so you can easily send it around. It's got everything you need built in the device. So it's an extremely portable device with everything you need.
And it comes with a handle to carry it as well, doesn't it? So it is very much designed to be carried around.
Last question.
Yes, last question, Martijn.
Can I use my Vislink MVP login to connect to the iOS app? No, it's a separate license we need to create, so it doesn't work with your current login.
Okay.
But if you contact us, we can provide you with a license.
I'm not seeing any more questions, so I guess that's all the questions that we've had today. I think that's been really, really useful for many people. So I think we'll say thank you to everyone who's joined today, and thank you to Martijn. And I'm sure we'll be doing some more of these videos and webinars in the near future. So
definitely. Well, thanks for watching. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.